Good evening, all of you. I'm just looking for my pen. Good evening, Varun, Sushmita, Rutuja. Good evening, Kashish. Thank you so much for the compliment, Kashish. Hi, Shubham. Hi, Pranjal. Good evening. Right, let me just quickly spot my pen. Yes, here it is. Found it. So, hi, Om. Good evening. How are you? I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. All right. Let's see. Hi, Shaina. Good evening. Good evening, Saurabh. Hello, Harsh. शुभम डर का माहौल why the डर का माहौल okay. Hi Kinjal, hi Sushmita, good evening Namrata. Hello Saharish, hi Bharti, hi Kalash, hello Roosters, good evening Nicole, thank you so much. Okay, admit cards are out, all right, so that doesn't need to be a reason to be scared. Good evening, good evening. Oh, I am so sorry. I am not on the title slide. Wait. I was supposed to be on the title slide. I was just making some changes to your PowerPoint. That's why, yes. So this is our title slide. I welcome you all to the last lap to MAH CET MBA 2022. Today is a session on critical reasoning. Now, critical reasoning has been a lot in demand, right? Some of you have asked for critical reasoning marathon. Some of you face a problem in a particular question type. So we have different question types today. And the idea is that I'll be giving you some tips regarding each question type that will help you in attempting it, right? Because right now some students feel that, okay, I find it tedious to read the entire thing, or let's say I am not able to understand some things at points, I'm not able to eliminate. So through questions, let's try to address these things, okay? Whenever you face a query, of course, you can tell me there and then, and I will clarify it. And you can even score yourself today. Okay, so there are some questions today. No negative marking again. So score yourself. This, in case you've practiced critical reasoning, then only score yourself. You will get to know where you stand and how much you need to practice. Right. Today the level is going to be the actual exam level. So you will see yourself that in your exam, not very difficult questions on critical reasoning appear. All right. So let's begin on this note. Thank you so much, Priya. Thank you. Uh, hello, everyone. Yes, Sumit. Let's try to look at it in detail. All right. Let's begin with our session. So, coming to why this session? Of course, you are basically going to look at the different types of questions that are actually asked in your exam. Okay, we'll look at the actual level today, what we are facing. Okay, I have practiced both difficult levels and easy levels with you in the other sessions, the ones that we have at 12 p.m. So you can watch them in case you want to get an all-round practice. This is about the actual exam level. Okay, now which are the topics from which we get most of our questions? These are those topics. Assumptions, inferences or conclusions, strengthen the argument, weaken the argument. I haven't seen very advanced or very creative or different question types on critical reasoning in MAH CET. That's why we are going to stick to these 4 standard question types. Okay? Now, here is your first question, and this is just this much is the stimulus that is given to you. Stimulus means the text that you have to read and then solve the question based on it, right? So this is your question stem. Okay. Which of the given statements can be a possible reason for the given situation? Can be a possible reason. So here is the stimulus. Tell me, which of them can be a possible reason? I'll just show you your options also. So these are your options. Only one, only two, both, neither, either. Right? So let's see what you say. All right. Okay. A lot of discussions happening in the chat box. Right. People are discussing their slots. Okay. Unable to approach the question. So Sumit will address this. Let's look at this question. I am sure a lot of you will get it correct. Yes. I've got A, which is only one. I've got either. What else? What else? Priya, I have taken one session on verbal logic. So in that, I hope I'm audible to everyone, right? Just a second. Just a second. So, yes, as I told you, I took a session on verbal reasoning. So there's a session, if you look at our previous YouTube videos, verbal reasoning, there I've explained cause effect also. So I think I've taken 2 to 3 sessions on verbal reasoning. You can have a look. Okay. Now, okay, all right. So a lot of you are saying either. Okay. So let's have a look. Now, which of the given statements can be a possible reason for the given situation? Despite the rule against it, all teachers in school A continue to take private tuitions of the students they teach in the school. Right? So statement 1 says none of the teachers is aware that such a rule exists. So they are not aware. Okay. Then all the teachers, look at this, opt to ignore the rule even though they know about it. All of them opt to ignore. So here, see, none and all. Don't you think we are missing out on one possibility here? Those who are saying either. Isn't this a possibility that some are aware and ignore? Some are aware and ignore. And some are not aware. This is a third possibility, isn't it? Syllogism, if you recall, some of you. So, those who are saying either, see, either or scenario, it fits in a particular situation when these are the only two possibilities out there. And what does either mean? That if this is not the case, then this is the case. If this is not the case, then this is the case. And if this is not the case, that implies that this is the case. That is what either means. But for the answer to be either, the two possibilities have to be exhaustive possibility. That means apart from them, there cannot be any other possibility. That is not the case here. And that is why the answer is not going to be either. The answer is going to be both. Okay. So here C is the answer and not E. Okay. So let me see if you said C. All right. All right. A, B. All right. Any C's here? Both. Yes. Kinjal said both. Great. Others, let me see if anyone else said C. No. So I hope this makes sense to you. See, whenever you are given these options where you have both also and you have either also, what is the difference in these options? Both means that individually both are correct. Individually both are correct. When do I use either? When I mean to say that, see, individually probably neither of them follows. But they are dependent on each other and they are exhaustive situations. That's a set theory term, exhaustive situation, meaning that apart from these, no other possibility exists. Apart from these, no other possibility exists. Okay. So, when there is an either or scenario, that means that if this does not follow, then this definitely has to follow because there's no other possibility. And if this one does not follow, then this definitely has to follow because no other possibility. So here I'm trying to explain to you that these are not exhaustive in nature. Okay, they are not, these two situations are not exhaustive in nature because a third situation is possible. And that is why the answer should not be either. The answer should be both here because possible to dono hai, isn't it? Both are possible. This is also a possible reason and this is also a possible reason, right? That is why our answer here is both. I hope now it makes sense. Okay. Now, C is the answer. Now, one more thing that I want to tell you. What is the tip? Why did we do this question? See, we did this question because I want to talk to you about possible reason versus necessary reason. These were the possible reasons. However, if this question was asked to you that if this question was asked that which of the following, which of the two is an assumption, which of the two is an assumption. So explaining to you the concept of assumption now. Assumption would mean something that is necessary, something that is necessary for the statement to be true, for the statement to be true, right? So in that case, what would be your answer? In case I asked you that which of the two statements that were given to you here is an implicit assumption, which of the two? What would be your answer? Possible reasons तो दोनों है, possible है दोनों, right? But assumptions would mean something that is necessary, something that is necessarily true, because without it, my statement cannot be true. In that case, can I say that this is an assumption? This is an implicit assumption. Is it necessarily true for the statement to hold true? No. We can clearly see there can be another possibility. So, this one does not, this one is not implicit as an assumption. And statement 2 also, same reason, this is not necessary because there can be other possibilities also. So, again not implicit. So, this is the concept of assumption. Okay, assumption means that when do I call something an assumption? When it is necessary to hold for the statement to hold. When it has to be necessarily true for the statement to be true. Right? Hope this makes sense to you. Can an assumption be a future prediction? Predictions are in the nature of inferences. Okay? Predictions are in the nature of conclusion, something that you derive on the basis of the given text. It is not an assumption. Assumption means something that you must have thought about in your mind, which formed the basis of your statement, but you didn't explicitly state it. That is an assumption. So I hope this is crystal clear to everybody. And this was your first tip. Assumption means a necessary reason, not a possible reason. Okay, a necessary statement, not a possible statement. Now, have a look at this question number 2. Simply a statement is given to you. Just read this statement. Yes. Read this statement. All right, a lot of excitement in the chat box about slots. I empathize with you, those whose center is pretty far away. All right, I hope some of you have read the statement and are not just chatting in the chat box. The road bridge collapsed due to heavy rains, completely cutting off road transport between city A and city B. We cannot restore the bridge within a week. Therefore, arrangements will have to be made to airdrop relief packets to city B. This statement has been made by the mayor of city B. Now, the question is, which of the following weakens the statement of the mayor? You have to weaken the statement of the mayor. Mayor is saying we cannot rebuild the bridge in a week, so arrangements will have to be made to airdrop relief packets. Right. Yes, Prakhar, statement is something that follows the speaker's assumptions. What is an assumption? A necessary belief that exists in the mind of the speaker on the basis of which he or she makes the statement, right? So when we go to the assumption, we take a step back from the statement. Okay, I've got A. All right. So Vicky says A, Nicole says A, Modi Sarkar also says A, Ankit A. All right, a lot of A's. Absolutely correct. So see, this is your actual exam level. I am not giving you any questions that are extremely easy and that won't be asked in your exam. Okay, this is your exam level. So when you say I don't understand critical reasoning, that's a very sweeping statement to make. Okay, it is not even in the spirit of critical reasoning. You have to first evaluate that which level of questions are difficult for you. If the extremely difficult questions or the difficult questions are difficult for you, then you need not really worry. Okay, now one thing that you have to keep in mind while attempting these questions, strength and weaken questions, is this. Focus on the reasoning. What do I mean by reasoning? See this. So here, the mayor gave a conclusion, right? The mayor gave a conclusion. Therefore, arrangements will have to be made to airdrop relief packets to city B. Now, this conclusion was based on some premise, This was the premise, isn't it? This was the basis. This was the reason. So on the basis of this, the mayor talked about airdropping relief packets. The basis was not about, let's say, cost. So for instance, the mayor did not say that sending them by railways would be more expensive. Sending them by, air will be cheaper. So let's airdrop. So therefore, we should airdrop relief packets. No, it was not based on any other thing. And therefore, you cannot weaken this statement by making any argument about cost, because this argument itself, mere statement itself, is not about cost. So that is why always focus on the reasoning, that on the basis of what information has the conclusion been drawn. You can attack an argument using those bases only. Either you attack this very basis, so that is what we did here, we attacked this very basis, okay, or you give some additional premise, which shows that why there is, let's say, no need to airdrop relief packets. Let's say there is no need to airdrop relief packets, or why air packets, it is not possible at all to drop air packets. So airdrop relief packets. So that is how we attack the argument. We have to look at the conclusion first, and on what basis this conclusion has been drawn. Okay. Any other sorts of arguments introducing additional difficulties which have not been discussed at all, such as cost, will not really weaken it, right? Okay. All right. Let's see. Why not E? Khushbu, I hope now it is clear. So I was anticipating that some students would say E. That's why I explained this whole story. I hope this makes sense to you. In case it doesn't, please ask me. Okay. So it's important to understand this in strength and weaken questions, because students are always confused. They tell me, sometimes ma'am you bring additional information, sometimes you don't bring additional information. Sometimes you tell us ye wala information is not related, but sometimes you yourself bring additional information. So you have to take care that additional information is allowed, but it has to attack the given basis. It has to attack the given reasoning. Okay, the given basis, the given conclusion. Hope this makes sense. Question 3. Okay, I'm so sorry. Question 3 was just this much on this slide. Immigration to country A is open in only 2 cities, Alivas and Scotias. This year. Okay, so this year it's open in only 2 cities. Therefore, a majority of people postponed immigration to country A to next year. So majority of people said, no, we'll move to country A next year. So this is what is given to us. Okay. And on this basis, this has been drawn. This conclusion has been drawn. So premise, conclusion. Premise means reason. Okay. So let me see what you say here. Pay attention to the question stem. What cannot be inferred? All right. The strategy SG should be, first of all, in case you've let's say learned vocabulary words, then it's time to revise those vocabulary words. Okay, and in these coming days, learn whichever words that you can from your mocks, from the tests that you take. Okay, or from the previous year papers that you attend. Okay. As far as grammar is concerned, again, revise the rules that you've learned so far. In case some topics are not clear to you, there are topical sessions also, topical videos that are there on our channel, right? Particularly, I remember I did a series that was focused on nouns, pronouns, various parts of speech. So you can watch those for grammar. Then, as far as RC passages are concerned, I hope you've been practicing them till now, because it's not like if you haven't practiced them at all, let's say, that you will master them in 10 days. That's not how it works. And for verbal logic, which is the last area, this is what we are doing, critical reasoning. Parajumbles is the only other area that you need to prepare for, right? So I had a session on parajumbles earlier where I talked to you about what all you can do regarding that. Okay, I hope this helps. This is the detailed strategy from my side. B, C, all right. Inferred means, okay, what can be inferred? Inferred means something that is true. Okay, something that you can logically deduce, which means something that is true on the basis of what you have just read, on the basis of the given information. Okay, something that can be logically deduced. That's what we call it. Something that can be logically deduced. To deduce means to derive. Okay. All right. So B, C, what else have I got? D also I've got. All right. All right. So B, C and D. Any other responses? I've got very few responses. What are the others doing? Okay. So let's see. E is not the answer, first of all. I'm happy nobody marked it. There is one statement here that cannot be inferred. Which is that one? First says neither Alivas nor Scotias is preferred by the majority of people who applied for immigration to country A. Isn't this clear? Because right now it's available only in these two cities and people have postponed it to next year. That means they would rather wait than shift to these two, these two cities. So yes, this is something that is very clear on the basis of the text. B. All other cities which will be open for immigration next year will be acceptable to the majority who applied this year. Can I be sure about this? Do I have information about people's preference for other cities? I don't. So I can't be sure about this, that all the other cities will be preferred by them, all the other cities will be acceptable to them. This information is simply not given to me. I cannot infer this. B is the answer. C says at least some cities open to immigration may change in the subsequent year. Yes, this is something that is the hope. At least some cities open to immigration may change in the subsequent year. On the basis of this hope only, they have postponed their, just a second, immigration to next year, right? So C can also be inferred. Also, one more important thing, it says may change. It says may change. It does not say will change. Okay, it's not a very short statement that has been made, just like B. It says may change, and yes, possibility is there. Possibility is there. So A and C can be inferred. D, Delhi. The majority of people who postponed immigration this year either do not prefer to or cannot migrate to any other country. Right. So these people, let's say if there are two scenarios only, no? Let's say if they preferred some other country, right? They preferred some other country, they could move. Similarly, if they could, then again they could move. So either they don't prefer it, or in case they prefer it, they cannot move. They cannot immigrate, right? दो ही possibilities है ना, या तो वो prefer नहीं करते हैं या वो करते हैं पर वो immigrate और कहीं कर नहीं पा रहे हैं. That's why they have postponed, right? So even D can be inferred. Okay, so A, B, D, all the three can be inferred, and that is why our answer here is, sorry, yes, A, B and D all can be inferred. Oh, I need to change this. एक minute. हाँ. A, C and D all can be inferred, and that's why B, Bangalore is our answer. ठीक है? I hope this makes sense to you. Because option C is an assumption and not an inference. See, at least some cities open to immigration may change in the subsequent year. That is what is the people's hope. That is their belief. Okay. Now, is this a possibility? At least some cities open to immigration may change in the subsequent year. You are right. This is in the nature of an assumption. Okay. This is in the nature of an assumption. Okay. Now, however, there are certain assumptions. Because see, what are assumptions? Assumptions are something that existed in the mind of the speaker, right? Something that existed in the mind of the speaker on the basis of which he or she made the statement. So he or she did not explicitly state it, but just made the statement. So the speaker's assumption can also be, in certain circumstances, the reader's inference. Okay, that yes, the speaker must have assumed this. We don't write this that the speaker must have assumed this, because this is something that's implied there, right? So at least some cities open to immigration may change in the subsequent year. Yes, this is the hope of the people, and it is therefore their assumption, an assumption that they are making. Strictly speaking, you are right. This is not strictly speaking in the nature of an inference, but at least this is an implicit assumption. If you compare it with B, B is absolutely extreme. Okay, and that is why we are rejecting it. This is a previous year question. That's why I didn't make any changes to it. Okay, otherwise I would have changed your C. Right, because we need to know how to deal with such ambiguities. अगर B और C में B ज़्यादा wrong है तो B आंसर होगा, right? Okay, all right. Hope this makes sense to everybody. Any questions, please ask. क्या चल रहा है chat box में? All right. Okay, okay. Coming to our tip 3, pay attention to extreme words such as only, always, all. See, because of all, I straight away said that, okay, B is something that we cannot infer, right? Because all the other cities, I just cannot say. That's extreme, right? So only, always, definitely pay attention to such extreme words in the answer choices. They can be the basis. Basically, they can tell you that this option is a suspect option, right? इस option पे हमें शक करना है, okay? So you should pay attention to such extreme words. Now, coming to question number 4, some information is given to you, followed by 2 statements. Right? What is it that you have to do with this information? Basically, you have to find out which of the statements is actually weakening the given information. So, do both weaken? Does one strengthen and the other weaken? Are both neutral? They're not affecting the statement at all. Is one weakening and second strengthening? The opposite of B. And is one weakening and 2 is neutral? It's not affecting the argument at all. So this is what you have to find out. Let's see what you say. Yes. सब साथ साथ जाएंगे. एग्जाम साथ में नहीं दे सकते. I hope you know this. Yes, Mayush. Parag, we are on our 4th question, so you've missed 3. All right. Let's bring our focus back to the question. Sometimes I feel like I'm your meditation teacher. So in meditation also the teacher tells you that it's okay if your mind wanders. Without judgment, just bring it back to your breath. Just bring it back to meditating. So that's what I keep doing at times. Okay, Ram says B. Roshan E. All right. Both weaken. Okay. B is weakening. Ram says that. Nandini says B. Nicole says A. Options. Okay. Let me just show you the options. These are your options. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Okay, let's have a look. So here, despite basically what is the author's conclusion? This is the author's conclusion. This means people still prefer to buy from malls instead of buying these online. These means basically shopping, merchandise, okay, any product out there. So you have to attack this idea that people prefer to buy from malls instead of buying online. How can you attack it? In case you show me some data that no, they prefer online only. They just go to the malls, but they prefer online only, right? So first does that. First says people visit malls to try on the merchandise and then end up buying the same from online websites where prices are usually less. I have done this a lot of times. Okay, so this is something that happens, that people go to the mall, try the product and then buy it online. So this shows us that why footfall is fine, why there is footfall, there is no decrease in footfall, but from this I cannot draw this conclusion. So we are attacking the reasoning right away. We are saying that, you know, the premise that you are giving, this premise, this is just not enough to derive this conclusion, because there can be footfall also, and yet people can still prefer online shopping, right? So statement 1 does weaken. Statement 2. A survey shows that while less than 10% people visiting malls actually end up buying anything at all, so less than 10% people. So what do others do? 80% of them consider malls as a meeting place with good options for food and beverages. Again, this shows that why there is footfall, why a footfall does not mean that you can say this. A footfall is not a sufficient enough reason to derive this conclusion. Again, this is attacking this reasoning. Yes? So this also weakens. The answer is both weaken. Okay? Both weaken. Right. So option A is our answer. Yes. Yes. Prakhar, I haven't tried Medito. I'll look it up. I use this app called Affirm. That is primarily an affirmations app. It also has guided visualizations, meditations, all of those things. Right. Okay. Coming to our tip number 4. So our tip number 4 is that a conclusion can be attacked from multiple angles. Read each and every word carefully. Why am I saying this? Because look at this previous question that we just did. So some of you felt that, you know, A did not, one was not weakening. Why did you feel this? Why did you feel this? Because probably you were just focused on the fact whether they buy or do not buy, right? Whether they buy or do not buy. Basically, you were focused on this statistic and this statistic. However, if I focus on the footfall word also, and not just, let's say, buying, then I realize that, okay, this gives me an alternative reason why footfall will be the same. So here both the words, you have to read each and every word with concentration, because the conclusion can be attacked from multiple angles. So the premises have to be read carefully, the conclusion has to be read carefully. There's it's not like that there's just one way to attack a conclusion. I hope I'm making sense to you. Yes. All right, all right. Okay. So coming to our next question. ये तो बहुत ही दोस्ती हो रही है चैट बॉक्स में. I completed my class 12 from here. All right. Question 5. Information is given, then two statements are given. Now, what is it that you have to do? Similar question. Both weaken, one strengthens, one weakens, both neutral, one. Okay, so let's say the first one weakens, the second one strengthens, the opposite of option B, right? And one weakens while two is neutral. You have to tell me what is the correct answer. Okay. Isn't statement, the statement 2 neutral, as it gives pause and reason? I'll go back to that question, Sarish. Just let's just attempt this one, and then I'll go back to that one. Let's see what you say. Question 5. Interesting question, this one. Vicky has answered. Okay. Shifali has answered. Do I need to show you the options? Okay. One weak and second neutral. Okay. I understand that because of 5 options, it can feel that way. So just, cut the options for yourself. Just keep on eliminating as quickly as you can. So it is a mental task. In critical reasoning, you have to be mentally alert all the time. D Delhi is what you are saying. Some of you, what is D Delhi? One weakens and second strengthens. Second strengthens the information. Information क्या है? Information says spray pesticide A in the lake to kill algae which are responsible for the decreasing number of fish in the lake. Oh, okay. That is why we want to. So basically, we are doing this because we want to do this. Okay. And why do we want to do this? Because they are doing this. So just decoding it for you. We want to spray the pesticide. This is our aim. And why is it that we want this? Because they are doing this. They are responsible for the decreasing number of fish in the lake. Right. Statement 1 says pesticide A would kill other plants in the lake. Okay. Leading to now this is important, very very important for us. Leading to severe oxygen deprivation in the water. अगर oxygen deprivation हो जाएगी, how will the fish survive? So then our objective will not be achieved. Yes. So one is clearly weakening, and something that all of you I think guessed also correctly. Statement 2. Pesticide A must be procured from city M, which is at a distance of 540 kilometers from the city in which the lake is situated. Is this related to the information that is given? Remember what I said, focus on the reasoning. This is the reasoning here. Action, aim of that action, and why do we want to achieve this aim, right? So we are not concerned about distance. We are not concerned about cost here. Just giving another example, अगर cost यहाँ पे दिया होता statement 3 में that pesticide is a very costly pesticide to procure. We are not concerned at all about those things. My information, my argument is not bothered about it. Statement 2 is neutral. Okay, and that is why the answer is option E. Hope this makes sense. Prithviraj, now is this clear? Okay. What are people saying in the chat box? All right. Yes, question 4. Someone asked about statement 2. Yes. So what was the concern, Saharish? Let me just go back to your message. Isn't statement 2 neutral as it gives cause? So it gives us a reason. You are right. It gives us a reason as to, why people are not buying from malls. Yes, it gives us a reason regarding this. It points out to the direction that people are not really buying from malls. वो तो यूं ही आ रहे हैं बस खाने पीने. That's what they are doing. So, aren't you saying something that is the opposite of the conclusion? You are clearly contradicting the conclusion by saying this. Okay? So, by providing a reason for the fact that majority of the people, a significant majority is not buying from the malls, by providing a reason, you are solidifying that, see, the conclusion is probably wrong. Okay? So, it weakens. Hope it is clear now. Now, we have done question number 5. Let's see what is the tip behind question 5. Right. Read the entire option carefully. Why do I say this? Because till the time we were talking about killing some plants, that it will kill some plants, we were still not sure whether this would weaken or not, because our concern was the decreasing number of fish. But the moment it said that it will lead to severe oxygen deprivation, this option clearly became a weakening option, right? The moment I said that it will lead to oxygen deprivation, then it became a weakening option, because oxygen deprivation would mean how will fish survive, right? So read the entire option carefully. See, shortcuts do not mean reading an option superficially or incompletely. I can't give you such shortcuts. Okay, those won't work. Such hacks won't work. So you have to read the entire option carefully, right? Okay, coming to our next question, which is question 6. We are talking about facilitating. How? We are just saying that you have to procure it from so and so distance. How are we facilitating it? Facilitate means to make the process easy for someone, right? So in question 5, if I am saying that it is at a distance of 540 kilometers from the city in which the lake is situated. How am I making the process easy? Yes. And we are not, we would be supporting the argument when I say something, that says that yes, we should spray pesticide. That would support the argument. Saying that it is at a short distance, it can be procured from a short distance, it can be procured from a long distance, it is cheap, it is expensive. Even if I said that it is cheap, then also that would not support our argument. Argument is not about the price, the cost, right? Even if I said that it can be procured from a short distance, it would not strengthen my argument. Argument is not about distance. This is what we need to understand. ये मैंने जो structure बनाया था इसीलिए बनाया था. What is the argument saying? Do this because this is the aim, and why is this the aim? Anything that strengthens or weakens has to be related to this. Okay. So stick to the information that is given to you, and yes, read the entire option carefully. Okay. Now, coming to, just a second. Strong and weak arguments. I have taken a session on that. Ram, there is another session that I have taken. Okay, in the verbal reasoning sessions also I have discussed strong, weak arguments. So there are whole sessions on that. You can watch those. Today is about critical reasoning. Right? So coming to our next question. Okay. I hope I am addressing your queries. I haven't missed messages. I'm just looking at the chat box. हाँ नहीं, कितना भी महंगा, अगर आर्ग्यूमेंट कॉस्ट के बारे में नहीं है, प्राइस के बारे में नहीं है, तो वो कितना भी महंगा हो सकता है. ठीक है. Aman, I hope it is clear to you now. Yes, first was strengthening and second was neutral in the previous question. Just a second, एक मिनट, क्या था क्वेश्चन, मुझे भुलवा दिया. वुड किल अदर प्लांट्स. हाँ, तो पेस्टिसाइड पे नहीं स्प्रे करना चाहिए ना. इट इज वीकनिंग. कम ऑन, वीकन कर रही है वो सीधा. ठीक है, डोंट गेट कंफ्यूज अननेसेसरीली. स्टेटमेंट 1 कह रही है पेस्टिसाइड नहीं स्प्रे करना चाहिए. ठीक है. ओके. Okay, I've got some responses. In case I've missed any of your queries, you can repaste. I mean, you can just copy paste. Okay. Question 6. Many factory workers are suffering from respiratory diseases. The only way to bring such cases to zero is to, and see, the only way. Remember what I said in a previous instruction, that you have to pay special attention to such words. The only way to bring such cases to zero is to relocate the packaging unit of the factory. First one says, no other unit in the factory produces harmful substances causing respiratory diseases. This can be inferred because if this were the case, then we would not call this the only way, isn't it? The only way to bring such cases to zero. Because then it would not, even relocating would not bring the cases to zero if this were the case. So yes, this can be inferred. Making modifications in the packaging unit of the factory at its current location will not bring the cases to zero. Again, this can also be inferred because I am saying the only way to bring them to zero is to relocate. So that means probably making modifications at the existing location will not bring them to zero. So yes, even this can be inferred. Okay, I think I should have shown you what the question instructions were. I am so sorry. This was an inference question. It was not what is strengthening, what is weakening. You had to basically infer. Okay, you had to infer something from the statements. Okay. I am so sorry. There was no question instruction written here. So my bad, my bad. Is this clear? If not, please ask. If there is any other query in question 1 to 6, please ask. Yes. Okay. So C is the answer. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. My bad, my bad. Yes. Okay. So sorry, Yuvraj. So sorry. If it were a strengthen weaken question, just a second. No other unit in the factory. This strengthens, definitely. Making modifications in the packaging unit of the factory at its current location, it's telling me, will not bring the cases to 0. Okay. This is something that is implied it is implied by the statement itself. I'm just making it very clear that making modifications is not going to help. At its current location. This is something that is implied by the statement itself. So I can't say that it is adding something more. It's just emphasizing what is already implied. It's just emphasizing that. In a way, it is strengthening by putting it explicitly, by putting it out there explicitly. So in that way, yes, this is strengthening. Okay, because what was implied, instead of letting it be implied, it is stating it explicitly here. Right? Okay, so 6th question, Shifali, you had to conclude something. I hope this is clear that both can be concluded, right? And coming to our question, our tip number 6, only always see if even in the stimulus, even in the given information, you have to pay attention to such extreme words. Only, always, definitely, all, no, right? Because they are very important pieces of information for you, on the basis of which the entire conclusion can change. So pay special attention to such words, even in the given information and not just in the answer choices. So जहां भी given है ऐसे words पर ज़्यादा attention दो. ठीक है? Okay. Now coming to our question number 7. Question number 7. Okay, infer or conclude. Now see, for your examination purposes, inferred and concluded are interchangeable. For your examination purposes, they are interchangeable, so don't worry about it. That's what I would tell you at this stage. Okay? Okay, okay. So Sadashiv, as I told you, that some assumptions, basically, when you look at it, it's like a mirror. For some assumptions, it's like a mirror, because assumptions mean what the speaker must have thought. Okay, what is something that is necessarily true on the basis of which the statement has been made. And when you look at assumption from the point of view of the speaker, but when as a reader, you are able to derive that, okay, this is something that the speaker must have necessarily thought. Okay, so sometimes you are able to derive this as a reader as well. So that's why some assumptions can be inferences also. But at this stage, we need not get confused in this. We have to look at a question based on what the question stem asks from us. Right? Okay. Yuvraj, we do not differentiate. We treat them as the same. Depending on the options, we eliminate and mark the answer. Both mean what is true on the basis of the given text. Okay. What do we have to do in this one? Let's see. We have to see. Now, this is a strengthen weaken question again. Okay. We have to see. This is a strengthen weaken question again. Thank you for reminding me to show you the question. I don't know why they haven't, why the team hasn't really written the question stem. It really fails me. 1 and 2 are the sentences here. The pieces of information tell me which one strengthens, which one weakens, or which one is neutral. Yes, yes, yes. दिखा the option. So Pranjal, it sometimes looks to us that ये चीज तो given ही है, ये कैसे conclusion हो गई, ये तो बोल ही रहे हो, right? But as long as the same wordings have not been repeated in the option, we consider it to be a legit conclusion. Okay, if you feel that something is, you know, why you feel that ये तो given ही है, because your mind is able to process it very quickly and easily. It is so easy to infer that you feel ये तो given ही है. So as long as the very same words are not being repeated, then if you feel, oh, this is something that is definitely true on the basis of the text, it is an inference, it is a conclusion. Okay? All right, all right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look what we say. Syllogism actually it's covered separately. It's a part of verbal reasoning. Okay, that's what I would say, not a part of critical reasoning. Now, so statement is about malnutrition leading to so many diseases, okay, and thus, you know, it can itself be classified as an illness. That's what we are stating. First one says higher economic growth and increased spending. Now see, is this related? Are we talking about spending, economic growth? Yes, we are saying that, okay, yes, India is an emerging superpower. So in that sense, we are talking about economic growth. But higher economic growth and increased spending on nutrition access program have not resulted in proportionate decrease in child malnutrition or stunting. Okay. So does this affect my argument or does it not? Yes. Tell me that increased spending on nutrition access program, they have not resulted in proportionate decrease in child malnutrition and stunting. Does it weaken my argument? Does it not affect it at all? So is first related? Those who are saying weaken, how is it weakening? How is it weakening? My conclusion is, see, my conclusion is this, right? That stunting can be classified by itself as an illness as it leads to negatively affecting the present and future of the child. On what basis am I calling it an illness? Why? If you ask why is it an illness, what is the answer that you get? Why is it an illness? You get the answer in this sentence that, you know, it is associated with an underdeveloped brain, long lasting harmful consequences, and increased risks of nutrition related chronic diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and obesity. So, this is your premise. Okay, this is not contributing at all. This is not, see, this is not attacking the premise. This is not adding to the premise. This is not doing anything. The premise is about how malnutrition is related to diseases. And because it is related to so many diseases, it can itself be called an illness. That is the argument about, it's not about spending. This is neutral. This is not related. Okay, no matter who tells you, okay, some this is again a previous year question, and I think in some memory based papers the answer is given as this one is strengthening or weakening, something of that sort. But trust you me, this is not related to the argument. Second one is definitely related and it is strengthening it. Multiple researchers have proven the causal link between various malnutrition or stunting in children and various diseases. So if they have proven this, then that means we are right that, you know, it is associated with so many diseases. So second is strengthening. First is neutral. First is neutral. Okay. And therefore, this is our answer. Okay. Second is strengthening and first one, just a second. We don't have this option. Ek minute. Second should strengthen. While one weakens, one is neutral. This should have been the answer. I don't know. Acha, see this. So some error here, some error here. This is what they wanted to write. This is what they wanted to write here. Okay. And it has been corrected in this slide. It has been corrected in this slide. Okay. So D Delhi is the answer. Okay. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? So Prakhar, it's not a restatement. Now see, I understand why you think that second is a restatement, but it's not a restatement. See, I'll tell you. In the argument, I said it is associated. वो associated है with these diseases. Okay. Did I cite any research? Did I say that it is proven? Did I say that there is a causal link? Association and cause effect relationship, it's different. Association can be simple, some correlation also. Okay, causal link. So this is multiple researchers have proven a causal link. So it is indeed strengthening. It is not a restatement. Okay. So at times it may appear to us that it is a restatement, but it's not. All right. So this D Delhi is the answer. Now coming to question, the tip number 7. One thing that I would like to clarify. So the other day I was doing some questions with you in the 12 p.m. session, and I realized that students don't interpret such questions correctly. Whenever a question is given to you, which of the following does not strengthen the argument? Does not strengthen. Okay, so students start looking for an option that weakens. Students start looking for an option that weakens. It is not necessary that the one that does not strengthen means weakens. No, this is not equal to weaken. This simply means that either it is neutral or it weakens. Both the possibilities are admitted in this. When I say not strengthen, it could be a neutral statement also. Please be aware of this. Okay, you can get such a question. Not similarly, not weaken can be neutral also. It does not affect the argument at all, or it can be strengthen also. So just take care of this, right? It will make life easier for you. Okay, now coming to question 8 here. Let's see. This is now fortunately here they've written the question stem. You have to decide which of the given statements weakens or strengthens the information. So Neat, this will come with practice. This clarity will come with practice. Okay. Yes, Pranjal, correct. Not related, so neutral. These questions are definitely related to MBA varsity. We are preparing for an MBA entrance exam only. Cause and effect, Sumit, as I stated, I have taken some verbal reasoning sessions. So you just have to, I think, type BYJU'S Exam Prep MBA verbal reasoning, and those sessions will appear, okay, over YouTube. Or you can look them up in the channel's videos. They will appear in the videos also. However, you may have to go back a little. So there I have explained cause effect, course of action. We even did strong weak argument. So I've covered all of that there, right? So what do we have to do here? Weakens or strengthens? These are the options. Let me show you the options also for a safe side. Statement 1 and 2 both weaken, both neutral, 1 strengthens, 2 weakens, 1 weakens, 2 strengthens, both strengthen. These are the options, and these are all questions that are based on your previous year papers. All right. So the government of state is contemplating, it is considering the inclusion of practical learning as part of the curriculum for students studying in the art stream, which will have, this is important, see, this will have 50% weightage in marks. So one directly attacks this. One says, the understanding of practical learning itself is different. So one teacher might feel that a student has a good understanding of practical learning. The other might feel that no, this student has no practical learning. So as a result, the scoring will change depending on the views of the evaluator. So giving it 50% weightage in marks is probably not a good decision. It points to that direction. So this is weakening the decision. This is weakening the decision. Second, Second says it's very difficult to design the curriculum for practical learning. Why? Because most teachers disagree about what should be included as part of the curriculum. So can it then be made a part of the curriculum? This is attacking this aspect. So again, this is also weakening the decision. Both weaken. Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Both weaken. Right? Questions repeat. I am not, I haven't seen grammar questions being repeated as such. Probably one or two vocabulary words, yes, but not other question types. Right? So both weaken. Option A is the answer. Hope this is clear. Both weaken, bache, both weaken. How is one strengthening? One is also saying no, then how can you how can you make it a part of the weightage, 50% weightage? Because हर किसी के फिर तो marks बहुत बहुत different आने लग जाएंगे, right? Because evaluator की judgment पर है ये तो based बिल्कुल. So it's weakening. Both are weakening. So tip number 8 is that those options that go one step ahead of the stimulus, okay, those options that take a leap. I think this is an option that will come in handy to you when we do our next question. So I marked this, I wrote this tip keeping the next question in mind. So you do not go beyond the stimulus, okay, in inference questions, in assumption questions, please do not go beyond the stimulus. In strength and weaken, while you can bring additional information, that additional information has to address the existing conclusion. It has to either attack or bolster the existing conclusion. That this has to be kept in mind. So don't go beyond. Don't go out of scope. That's what is meant here. And this is, it will come in handy for this question. Right. So read the instructions here. You have to infer something. Now, the examiner is specifically telling you what an inference is. An inference is something by which you can logically deduce something to be true on the basis of known premises. So, what is true on the basis of this? Read this carefully, then I'll show you the options. Bolster means strengthen. Yes, yes, yes. Last question for the day. Last question in case some of you are getting impatient. I hope you've read this. And I am now showing you the options. Yes. Tell me what can be inferred. Shown you the options. For means fake, false. Okay. Okay. C, B, what else? What else? A, D, E. Okay, so I've got everything. A, B, C, D, E. A, all right. I'm getting quite a few A's here. Okay, okay. Great. This is heartening to see. Perfect, perfect. A is the answer here. Durability is the least important of the given factors. Given factors, the three factors were given to us, no? Durability. Despite durability of real leather, consumers are going for faux leather. Why? Because of the prices and color combinations. That means durability is not as important to them as these two. Durability is not as important to them as these two. So it is the least important out of these three given factors. This can be definitely concluded. This is definitely true. This is definitely true. Now C looks like a tempting option to mark. C looks like a tempting option to mark, but don't you think that there is something wrong with its phrasing? What does this mean? Incorporating novel contrast combinations of economic prices. Are these combinations of various prices or are these color combinations? What are these combinations of? So it has not been worded properly. Not worded properly. Beside it seems to be pretty sure of what is going to happen. What is going to happen? It seems to be pretty sure about it. Whereas this tells us something that is true in the present. That is something that we can say, okay, yes, this is definitely true. So we'll definitely choose A over C. Okay. Hope this is clear to you. And see, we do not go beyond the scope of the stimulus. This is what I meant by it. Right. So lastly, always eliminate, right? Because you might feel at times, so for instance here, you might feel that, okay, C is also tempting, but you will see that something is off with this option. It's not worded properly, right? Whereas this is something that is there in front of your eyes. So we choose what is there in front of our eyes rather than something that we're iffy about. ये हो भी सकता है, ये नहीं भी हो सकता. ठीक है? Yes. Quite a few of these questions were from your previous year papers. Okay, so that's why I said that this is the actual level. Now, afterward, what I want you to take away from this session is remember these basic question types: assumption, inference, strengthen, and weaken. Okay, and learn from your mistakes in CR questions. So it's okay if you've made mistakes today. Learn from them and just remember some basic things about inference, assumptions, strengthen, weaken, that you have to stick to the argument, and I think you'll do well. Okay, so these are the coming sessions in the last lab, right? Savitri ma'am will meet you on 15th, then on 17th, and see, you will do verbal logic with her, right? So whatever you were talking to me about cause effect, course of action, you'll do that with her probably. Okay. All right. Welcome. Uh, it we can't be sure about it, Prakhar. Actually, that is why we rejected C. Okay. All right. Welcome, all of you. Welcome. I hope this session helped you. Okay. And in case something is not clear still, you can comment in the comment section. I'll see your comments later and then respond. Okay. All right. A very good night to all of you. And I'll see you tomorrow at 12. Yes, at 12 p.m. we have a session. So I'll see you then. Bye. Welcome. Bye bye. Thank you, Sushmita. Welcome.